The Guide to Goals podcast gives you the tools, direction, and resources you need to pursue your passion project. I'm Deborah Eckerling, Project Catalyst, and this is the Guide to Goals podcast. Our guest today is Liz Kelly, and we're going to talk about PR for your passion project. Liz is an author, speaker, UCLA Extension Instructor, columnist, and CEO. She founded Goody PR and the Goody Awards to magnify brands, experts, and causes making an impact. Liz, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Deborah.
Why don't you share a little bit more about your background and how you got started doing public relations?
Absolutely. Well, I wrote a book in 2002, and it was a dating book, and it was called Smart Man Hunting, and it was light and it was fun, and I went through really a journey with that, and I ended up with 500 media interviews because I had so much fun coming up with different hooks and different topics for the media, and I mean, we could talk about that the whole time, but so you fast forward to 9/11, and I'm like, I want to start my own PR company, so and help other people. So that's really how it all started.
And I think that's so wonderful, especially because we're here to help people. Isn't that kind of the point of being alive, is to do something that you're good at, that you feel good about, but that also helps other people?
Exactly. And I mean, I've been working with this business coach, Roger Hamilton, and he has a personality test, and I took it, and I came back as a star. And a star is like Oprah in that, Oprah can be a star on stage, but where she really shines is making other people look good. And that's really what I like to do. I like to make other people look good, and it makes me feel so good, and that's my passion.
Well, then I think we're talking to the right person about the right thing. So, and this may seem like a silly, obvious question, but why is PR so important?
Well, I think it's even more important today, PR, because you've got to be proactive in this digital age. I mean, I was thinking about it right before the call, and I think one of the most important things is that, most of my business comes through personal referrals. And I think that's probably the number one way that people get business. But there's a big but. Nobody is going to hire you without Googling you and checking out what's going on online for you. So you really need PR so that you can get ahead of the game, build that credibility. So when somebody does go to Google, it's all positive and gives you a lot of authority in your field.
And this is regardless of if you're a consultant or if you have a business or you have a product, they're still going to check you out, right?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what you do. If you are, a hairstylist, or you run a restaurant, or you're a management consultant, they're going to check you out.
I always say that too. It's like, why do I need, because you've been in social media longer than I have, but I've got enough years under my belt that I remember telling people or asking people, why aren't you on social media? And they're like, why do I need it? Because people are going to look for you, and if you're not there, they're going to pick up on someone else.
Exactly. And when I talk about PR, just to be clear for everybody, I talk about two parts. And there's traditional PR, which is print, radio, and television. And then there's the social media part, and they're both really important.
And so are people still doing a lot of the traditional?
They are, and I think it's really a matter of what are your goals, and I know that's a key part of what we want to talk about. And I go through this with every client in the beginning because everybody thinks, okay, I wrote a book, now I'm going to be rich and famous. Okay, it does not work like that. It used to work like that, but it doesn't work like that anymore. So I tell people, and I learned this from Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. That book is your business card in the door. So that book will help you get speaking gigs. It will help you attract clients. but it is not going to pay the bills. Unless you're Stephen King or somebody really famous, J.K. Rowling, forget it.
Right. And I work with, as a project catalyst, I work with entrepreneurs who want to write a book, start a blog, do an ebook even, just to get their name and their recognition out there. So someone has that. Now, so what do? What are the first couple easy things someone who's looking to get PR can do to get started?
Absolutely. Well, I think along with deciding what are the goals, it's really important to step back and say, okay, what are my key messages? And I ask all my clients, tell me in one sentence what you do, which I know you do the one sentence introduction, and mine maybe was a little long, but you have to be able to say in one sentence what you do. If you can't do that, you're in trouble. And so I work with clients to try to figure that out. And then you have to figure out, okay, what am I trying to achieve here? So am I trying to sell copies of the book to get clients? Am I trying to sell copies of the book um, to get people in my seminar? Or am I trying to do reputation management? I have one client right now, and they've had bad press. And that is the first thing that comes up on Google. So we're coming up with a strategy on how to do that. So I think that, you know, saying what you do in one sentence and what are your goals are the top two things you have to do. And then the third thing would be, finding the right resources and the right tools and the right people to help you and decide, do I want to do it myself or do I want to hire somebody?
Well, let's just assume that the people who are listening are working on their passion project on the side, and they're mostly their own one-person band. So let's go with that. For example, I'm a subject matter expert. I have a book, I have a podcast. I'm a consultant and I want more clients. So, and I know my one sentence, who I am and what I do. Now what?
Okay, so now what? Well, I would come up with a PR strategy and I would come up with a plan. And, your PR strategy might be, I'm going to do a press release once a month, and here's my target market, and here's where my target market hangs out. And then try to figure out what messages to reach them with. And then it's also, when I work with clients, I'm always trying to strategize and adjust based on what's going on in the news, because you want to make whatever you're talking about relevant, and it changes every day. So you've got to be watching it all the time. For example, I have a client who's written a book about taxes. Okay, taxes you would think are the most boring thing in the world. This guy has 900 books on back order right now on Amazon. I'm just going to say that again. 900 books on back order on Amazon.
That's awesome.
Because I've gotten him so many interviews in print, radio, and television, primarily. And what makes him different is we're always watching the news. So the biggest thing in the news right now tied to taxes are the elections, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are watching the debates. We are watching what every candidate is talking about tied to taxes. And then that's what we pitch to the media. So whatever your topic is, like when I was talking about dating, right now it's October, it's fall. So, people have back to school, where you can do back to dating, or, the summer flings are over, and you can make it seasonal, tied to holidays. You've got to make it relevant. So I'm always thinking like that.
So what mistakes do people make? I mean, everything you're saying sounds really simple. Know who you are, what you want, put your message out to the universe, and then keep an eye out for how you could tie your message into trends, right?
Right.
What mistakes do people make?
Okay, that's a really good question. First of all, you can hire me or go to my seminar, How to Get Free PR, where I'm going to teach people all this stuff in a whole day, November 7th in LA. But not just to plug that. I think that to answer your question,
Hmm.
the mistakes that I see people make is they can't they can't do the one sentence. They can't do it in bullets. The media thinks in bullets, okay? And what I mean is bullet points.
Right.
Um, so what happens is I will ask a client, so tell me your opinion about Hillary Clinton and running for president, right? And the email is this long, right? And I'm like, no, I just want 5 bullets, right? And I'm
Hmm.
I'm not trying to get into politics here, but that is the headline
Right.
news right now. So whatever the topic is, they have a really hard time putting it in bullets. And the media likes numbers, so they like things like top 3 places to go for a first date versus where to go for a first date. Because where to go for a first date is a little vague. If you say top 3 places, then they're much more interested in interviewing you.
So the snappier you talk, the more likely they're gonna say you are the one that we want on our
Yeah,
show, in our
yeah,
article.
yeah. I mean, the big things are credibility. So they're going to look and they're going to see how many social media followers you have. They're going to look and see have you been interviewed before by people. They're going to want to see if you have a book or ebook. Ebook is fine. Um, Maybe you are on the board of a group like Social Media Club LA. That will help. You do need when you pitch the media, you need a short 1 paragraph bio with a link to your website. So you always want to put that at the bottom. That's kind of an about, and that gives you the credibility.
That is fantastic. I really, really like that you got to that point. That's very, very important. Are there any tools that you recommend? Any particular social media websites are your favorite? What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think for social media management, I use Sprout Social. You can also use Hootsuite. Buffer is another one. There's a lot of them. I really encourage that you do that. You can also go to my Twitter at Liz H. Kelly and just look at what I'm doing because I have other clients. That's what they're doing. They go to my Twitter and they look at what I'm doing because I mean Twitter's my favorite. And the reason why it's my favorite is because for marketing is because you can reach the broadest audience through hashtags. Hashtags are really important. They're your keywords. You should never tweet without at least a hashtag, one hashtag and one @ sign. Um, and to include other people and look for experts in your area and build relationships with them. So those are key tips and tools. I mean, I like Instagram, and Facebook is like the last place I go. Facebook is for friends, so it's good to post things for your friends, but I recommend you only post 1 time a day because they don't want to hear from you all the time. And then be very, you want to post fun stuff like, I went to the beach and I took a sunset picture. That's part of your brand too, along with, oh, by the way, I just posted that I got somebody quoted in Investors Business Daily and it gets 1 million readers. So, you have to balance it.
In essence, then, you are the same person on all of your social media accounts. You're always professional. You always have your message and, when applicable, your keywords.
Absolutely. And there's a motto that I use, and I it is from Josh Oach, Oochs, I believe. Anyway, he's written a book. It's called Light, Bright, and Polite. And that is my motto, light, bright, and polite on social media. And my mother is, in her 70s, and she's like, "Can you say that again?" And she's like writing it down because nobody wants to hear, you get in an argument with somebody. If you are upset about something, social media can be a good place to go, but you've got to be very factual and light, bright, and polite. You can still get your point across by being light, bright, and polite.
It's really funny. You should mention Josh because was one of my clients and actually helped him get his book written. So,
Awesome. Well, you did a great job.
well, thank you. Well, he got it done in 3 months after he started working with me. So, and it's Josh Oakes for pronunciation, and I'll put
Okay,
the
thank
link.
you.
I will put the link in here. I think that it's so funny in LA because we connect with each other. Liz and I will go years without running into each other, and then 5 times in 3 months. So you never know where your paths intersect, which is the other reason to be like bright and polite, because you never know who you're going to encounter, who will be able to help you, who you're building a relationship with.
Exactly. It's true online, it's true in your PR, and it's true in real life. And it's just so important. If you need to scream, shut the doors in your house and just let it out, or go to the beach where nobody's around and scream. But I don't know. I tend to stay very calm, and that's really important because people, there's a lot of craziness out there and a lot of emotion. And when you're managing your personal brand, it is really important not to overreact to anything, and kind of take the Buddhist approach, like walk away for 24 hours before you respond.
Such a good point. Okay, one more thing I want to one more thing I want to touch on is work-life balance. What do you do? Because you've got your business, you've got Goody Awards, you're just always somewhere. What do you do to maintain some balance so you're not always working?
Well, that's a really good question, and it's not easy, especially as entrepreneurs and everybody doing everything yourself. Um, so the main thing I do is I go on walks to the beach. I fortunately live 8 blocks from the ocean, and take sunset pictures, which I really like with my iPhone 6 Plus. Um, I like the big screen, but anyway, I think that helps. But it's also um, it really is about pacing yourself. So I'll take a coffee break in the middle of the day, or, that's one of the beauties of working for yourself. You don't have to always answer to someone 9 to 5. But then a lot of times I will work at 10 o'clock at night because I took 2 hours off in the middle of the day. So you just have to find the right rhythm. I am not a morning person. Some people are morning people. I'm more a night person. So, find your rhythm, find the balance, and make sure you have friends that you can call that are in the same boat, because we're all trying to figure this out. And it's fun. I mean, I'm having a blast, but I definitely have my moments where I shut the door and I scream.
Well, I want to wrap up with giving some goals, some assignments to our listeners. So I think the professional goal should be to, if you have not done so already, write out your one line of the who you are. And I love what you said about having your short little about in the bottom of your pitches. So I think that should be the professional homework, because I think people don't think about it. They think, oh, I'll talk to them, they'll get it. But if you write something really concise like that someone can glance, they'll grab you.
Exactly. I think that that's really important. The other thing that I've been working on that you could look at, not to give, this is not for a plug, this is really honestly to help you. If you go to goodypr.com and then go to About, I've come up with 7 key selling points for like why work with Goody PR. I think everybody's website should have that, because you have to be able to explain clearly why are you different? Why should they work with you? And that's not easy. And then go show it to friends. Like I've been showing it to people all week saying, does this make sense? What do you like? What do you not like? That is really important.
Okay, now we're down to the personal goal. I'd say find something you love as much as Liz loves her iPhone and taking sunset pictures, and just go out and do something.
I think that's a really good goal. I think yeah, do something for you. And the other thing that I like is celebrate your wins. You
Oh, for
know,
sure.
I mean, you're probably doing this already, but if you get a new client or like I have one client who's had five interviews this week, and that's a lot. So I'm giving myself a break tomorrow, and I'm not going to do anything for that client. And I'm just going to go out to lunch with a friend and celebrate. So, celebrate.
This has been wonderful, Liz Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us today. And for those listening, you've got some great tips to get started doing your PR, so there is nothing stopping you. So go out and go for it.